and I'll recognize myself for questions. My first question is a look back earlier this year at the perhaps as many 25 million federal employees who had their computers hacked. Almost all of them had applied for security clearances, so this was sensitive information that presumably was accessed. What are you all doing to prevent another such cyber attack on federal employees?
Thanks for the question, sir. We have a robust cyber strategy, cyber research and development strategy. We look at how can we protect infrastructure. We look at a variety of different technologies and techniques to secure this infrastructure. Right. We're working.
What tangible steps, though, have you all taken to try to prevent this from occurring again? Not just strategies, but what have you actually implemented?
Understand, sir. So I can go back to, so right now, right now we're working with MPPD. We're working with the Secret Service. We're working with the stakeholders to actually understand their systems, to understand where we can actually make some improvements. So I can say based on, we have some cyber technologies, some enhancements that I can talk about that we've done in the past. Regarding your current question, I can look to the types of things we're doing. We are doing research in cybersecurity research for the infrastructure. We're looking at software assurance. For example, when software designers develop software, we developed a research capability so they can they're able to actually determine whether or not their software is valid or not, whether it has coding problems.
Is it fair to summarize what you're saying by noting that you're still studying the problem as opposed to having taken any specific preventative measures?
So we have continuously, since 2003 or so, been working in this cyberspace. And we have had a number of successes over the time. We've had something like 35 successful transitions of cyber technology into industry and into our stakeholders. Okay. The particular problems that you're talking about now, working with the .gov domain, we have been working, but we are now working to develop an enhanced strategy given some of the newer technologies.
Well, it does sound like you haven't taken any specific tangible steps. When you do, would you let us know? And
Absolutely.
I hope it's sooner rather than later. It seems like by now there would have been some tangible steps taken.
I think I'll be glad to come back with a classified briefing on the work we're doing, some of the work we're doing in cyber.
That's a fair response. Thank you.
Okay.
Next question is this, and this is something that I've been thinking about for a long time, and I think I'm grateful that it hasn't occurred yet. But what specifically is Homeland Security doing to prevent, say, a terrorist, would-be terrorist from flying a small drone over a packed stadium of 60,000 people perhaps watching a pro football game and having this drone release anthrax and killing most of the people who are present? What are we doing to prevent that kind of a physical attack?
So your first two questions have involved technology that, as you know, is rapidly changing. So the threats are changing with respect to cyber, with respect to the small drones, and the technology capabilities are changing rapidly as well. In order to address those, we are doing a lot to understand what the capabilities are, what the potential threats are. We have taken the lead in the interagency to look at the whole of community response because there are a number of interrelated issues here with the drone problem. One is how does the community actually respond? How do first responders respond actually? The other issue is what technologies can we use to effectively detect, track, classify.
And I assume DHS is working with the FAA on various rules that would govern the flights of.
We are absolutely working with the FAA.
Okay.
We've had briefings with the entire Department of Transportation. The Secretary has convened a meeting of stakeholders across the government to discuss this issue. I think it's safe to say that we have already done a data call across the interagency to look at what capabilities not only do we have, but Department of Defense and others have to mitigate this threat. And we are moving forward with both these areas of how does the whole of community respond with respect to policy and procedures and how to respond with technology.
And that may be a subject of a classified hearing or discussion as well.
Absolutely.
Last question is this. We have something on the order of 250,000 criminal immigrants at large in the United States. Clearly, these individuals are not supposed to be here, and just as clearly, they will commit many more crimes while they are present in the United States. A significant fraction will go on to be rearrested. What is your S&T Directorate doing to assure real-time identification of illegal immigrants while they are still in custody?
We have a three-pronged strategy in our Borders and Maritime Division. Strategy includes securing the land, maritime borders, as well as cargo security. If I can talk about one of our programs where we look at land crossings, we're actually trying to combine information that can be shared by federal, state, and local first responders.
Okay.
We're also developing.
But I'm talking about criminal aliens, criminal immigrants who are actually in custody, and the identification problem we have with them. Do you have any progress reports on that?
I, sir, do not have progress reports on that. Again, as a science advisor, we are dealing mostly with how we protect and securing the borders, not necessarily some of the issues that you're dealing with.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Brothers. Appreciate it. And the gentlewoman from Texas is recognized for her questions.